Hello and welcome as today's date comes in that of Monday, the final day of September the 30th, 2019. My name is Derek. All bets trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Let's go over these markets quickly. Gold on the monthly time frame down right now 2.25%. A little bit of a pause month as it's obviously been resisting just by a little bit, be it 2 periods and only a little bit in price from that level. When we take a look at this on the daily term, after resistance, support, and resistance, even double resistance, even here on this point, and a lot of big support right exactly where we are now. It's very close. We are seeing it leaving the 18. It hasn't broken yet, but a clear break would be about 1468 right now. And since the September 25th high, or the start of the breakdown, sellers have been in complete control within this time frame. As this correctionary phase barely got above the 18 highs, as did this one. And right now, it's still below the 18 lows, so even short-term sellers are in fine control. Of course, long-term, bulls are trying to break it out. On silver side, we have on the monthly chart here a decline right now of 5 and 5/9 of a percent, 5.55. But price is still above this 18. And really, that's what it comes down to after this action of these three candle bars up and a move up to 19 and a half. Is for the 18 to succeed its test, and the 21 level with Fibonacci resistance is, of course, a big level that it's seen back in 2016. On the daily chart, after all of these nice higher lows within the 18, it didn't do so in this correctionary phase in here as it had this failed breakdown and, well, really a failed breakout there after that, and now it's breaking down again. Will it be successful? Well, this is the leaving of the 18 or exitation, as I like to call it. When we look at this on the single hour term time frame, we had the price come down for a second time down to the 1740 level as it came down on this Friday the 13th. And after coming down here, they're just staying within it for a while because, as I've stated before, when you go down fast to come back up, thus, or even up for that matter too, and you spend very little time there. If it comes back there, don't be surprised if it like stays there for a while, and that was that little while in there. And on a break of that, I'm looking for a concise move to next level, which means okay, well, we see that it's been concisely grinding for the last 7 or close to periods, well, noticeably below the 18 average of lows, but it hasn't broken down at any great rate. But it'll wear you a kind of move if it continues to go down. But the whole point of this again is that the statement being made here is that it wants to go to next level. If it comes up here, we see there's resistance at the 1740 and it starts to pull back down. Yeah, this thing again could break down at any time. And if we get any major momentum above 1750, 1760, we'd be looking at a failed breakdown. And at that point, we that would be an interesting thing, and that would probably bring us to 1820 fast. But that's extremely rare to happen. As we look at this on, say, the 8-hour chart, Fibonacci is from the key lows and the high, which means this is 38.2% down. This is 61.8%, which represents basically the must-hold area. As I look at the market, as viewed on the monthly here, we can see that the with the 18 average rising in here, just holding into the support, because if not, you'd be looking at a failed breakout, which was the case here. There was no real failed move after or fast move after, just really this, which wasn't much. But that would be the case there. However, when you see this thing, any type of flipping over, any momentum switching on the short-term time frames, the hourly showed absolutely none. Then, of course, that could change the tune pretty fast. Let's go over to the gold to silver ratio. I haven't looked at this in a while. I put these fib lines in here, which obviously we can see we got some support in here. We take a look at this on the daily chart. We can see after coming down here at the 80, resisting this fib, finding a higher low support, exitation here at the 26th, 27th, and now it's breaking above previous resistance. Now it's about to establish a new high. Pretty small right now. You'd like to see, as far as where a new high would be, 87 to 89 in this conservative level. But to spotlight this, always when you make a new move, the higher low correctionary phase becomes relatively important. But I like the fact that we're seeing a lot of this big volatility action because that means things seem to be picking up right now. That's the best that I could. That's what I really like about seeing this all the compared to all the moves like before, which definitely weren't as volatile as they have been since July 15th. Now let's switch over to cryptocurrencies. First, Bitcoin dominance, which we can see here on the 18. As I stated yesterday, to stand within this range. Right now, we're having an attempt to leave it to the downside as it's exiting the 18 average, but it really does have to go below this low. So I'm just going to keep waiting until it does, and for now, it's just wait and see. Now on to Bitcoin, which has had this move down below, still well below the 18. 18 is declining, but it's been going sideways mainly more than anything. So it's establishing support, establishing that kind of resistance, and that either or situation for failed breakdown or move to the 6341 is in play. And I'm going to show you very soon what a failed breakdown looks like because there's one on the short-term time frame for Bitcoin. But obviously, for the move in here, anytime you see a clear break below, it's probably going to have a concise, most likely really fast move to this level. And if you're looking at that failed breakdown possibility and price action starts to rally, anywhere north of anywhere up to 10,000. Well, that's the area of where I'd be looking for major resistance if we get there, because there's usually two methods in which it'll go there. One, it'll just go concisely straight down, not much for rallies, but take some time on lower highs, lower lows going down. Or maybe you should run the halfway mark, somewhere near it. It will find some support, then it will bounce up to a lower high, and then resist lower, and then that's one of the two ways. So if you're looking for the breakdown, that's why when you get above here, one of the things I like to see is it holding and staying above when it gets above. Let's say if there's a rally that goes up to say like 10.3 and then it holds and stays above 95, that's a good signal. And any type thing that holds above where it was before, that's a major one. So with that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the shorter term time frame. But first, I want to do it on Huobi's exchange. I just want to see what the short-term numbers look like. Well, here's your preview of your failed break. Yeah, we'll use it on this one. Here's that major level of support at 79.37 that was hit very often, and then last night at midnight, price action falling below to 77. I sorry about that glicker. I've already fixed that problem now. And there we have it. So comes up to previous level. Then it comes into where it is in this area. So now when we're looking at intraday, is a failed move. If we're going to have a fast move, I'm looking for resistance probably to come, I don't know about 83.37, but between 82.50 and, well, who knows after that? I mean, 10,000 is that big level going on the more longer term. Now, that would be a grand move, big move. Possible? Unlikely. But it's more likely that happens than you get four numbers on the Powerball or however it works there, because that is extremely hard. Now let's move on to the altcoins, and within the first one, Cosmos ticker symbol Atom, and it lifted off from this line. It's not Fibonacci. Most of them usually are. This is just previous key level, and all of them that coincide. All of them within this are as well. So in the single hour term, price action from the bottom goes up, sideways move, leg number two higher or one on the first on the breakout, correctionary move. Now it's been going up, and it's had a little bit of tiny correction within this period on the current one and two ago. Nothing too fantastic, but this thing could easily stop, have a top, go down a significant one, and not see it for a while. It could very easily, and this is more the favorite, continue more of the uptrend. Or maybe, and well, this isn't. This is also pretty favorite as well. Maybe soon we're gonna do more of this. Where we just do some sideways action for 5, 6, 7 hours or whatever short period of time. But this thing is breaking out. So what does this mean on say longer term? If we adjust it to the 8 hour term time frame, and it's loading way too slow again, that sucks. Let me try to fix that. What we're seeing is a beautiful pattern on the 8 with this support, very nice lift off support from here, and this is true excitation in here. If it has any type of comeback down to this level, 28, 24, well, it's either now a failed breakout or a move that should at least come back to the previous high. The daily chart, we can see it's kind of making an inverted head and shoulders ish kind of pattern. This being the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. And of course, a break above that is 33.76. And these lines mean nothing more than previous support levels, as we can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't have a line here, but that would be where the next one would be around 1800, maybe a little below. Moving on next to Raven Coin against Bitcoin, which had an interesting day yesterday, but on the daily chart, having this established resistance in here back to the 18, and yesterday's session breaking out above it. So as I stated, holding this key level, price action has came down to 357, has since rallied up to 374. 18 average, big, big, big to hold the lows. 18 lows rising right now at 3 and a quarter. And on the intraday session yesterday, just some beautiful volatility. But I'm ratio trading this against another coin. So this market went up from 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday up to 1300 hours. And of course, I was selling on the way up. Where Hadara hash graph H bar, which is what I'm crossing it with, or it didn't start rallying from the bottom here at 1600 hours. So I was selling earlier in the day. I was selling Raven coin for this, and then as this was going up in here, I sold this for the Raven coin back. And within this, each day, it's another day. It's another 12,345 Satoshi. Oh man, that number's getting bigger. But the volatility in here, this is yesterday's session. It went from 1 point, the low was 1.03, a firm high at about 1 and 4/9, 1.44. So a decent failed breakdown, if you want to call it, but only price pays. So where I got in and out, I sold here, I bought down here. Even before then, there's not much history to this because this just came out. Would have had a sale here, a buy down there. Uh, there's a sale up here. There has to be. Well, anyway, there was. I guess I deleted or it's not on there anymore. But anyway, this is basically what the entire code looks like. Really not too much into this. That's it. But we can already see like the 140 and 1 level being support and resistance. And the amount of this range is pretty big. That's about 40% from high to low. And this is spanning since September the 21st. So in 9 days, that's been its range. I've also done a lot of housekeeping yesterday, or just it's almost like trades, like sports. You might hear blah 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 has way back when the Edmonton Oilers traded Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings. Well, that's almost the way I look at it in the crypto game. I can make a trade at any time, and I went down and I made a few trades yesterday. First being DGB, but I didn't trade all of it. I just traded. I'm still trading this against GRS, but only now against GRS. So the funds in there would be used for buying uh, the new cryptocurrency. But before that, I also made another couple trades as Qtum that I also sold. I was trading it against both Theta and Go. So therefore, the new crosses I'll be looking at will be that first of Tezos and Binance. Not much history, as Tezos has just entered the Binance sphere, coming on September the 24th, 2019. This is a coin I've been wanting to get, but it wasn't available on an exchange that I was willing to trade on before. But now it is. So now that's the case, and I hold right 7% of my Teslas are on Binance right now on a sell order. The other 93% are in my hardware wallet. They crossing against Go, 107 low, 92 or high rather 92 low. We'll see how this goes. But I love the Go chain volatility and its movements, and just the fact that it's more fun. It's not as secure of a coin, the Go chain, but I'm actually very confident long term on the play of Tezos within the research that I did a decent amount yesterday, but even over the last month or two within this coin. And this one would be at the highest of stakes because Bitcoin Cash is These are two that I think that will do well. And I replaced the Bitcoin Cash and DGB was a high stake trade, so therefore, and when I say high stakes compared to all the other crossings, like say for example the Go chain, even though now there's I'm trading it against six different crosses, the stakes on each one are relatively low. And if we take a look at this is interesting on the XTZ. Number one is Bitfinex. Then you got Huobi. Coinbase, really interesting. Coinbase wants it. That's what I like. Hit BTC, don't like them. Binance, why? And the order is from volume. The highest, whoever's got the higher volume gets on top. So Binance within this one is somewhere. I don't. That surprises me, but they're at the lower end of it. We can see on the daily here for this. It's got a nice little short-term setup, but it's showing more data for Tezos. The 3 hour time frame, just looking back at more, we can see like inverted head and shoulders ish kind of pattern. Left shoulder, head, and it's just and the whole point of it is consolidating, holding and staying above the 1048 number. But it's been holding 1070 and a much major established resistance in here. It gets above it. What does that mean? Well, let's take a look at the daily chart. And I like its setup. Hence another reason. There's many reasons why I got into it. As far as fundamental reasons, I like what I read and I like what I watched. So I went through a whole bunch of different stuff, and I didn't bookmark any pages. Tai Zen, I think, had a good video about it, and there's just so much more. So obviously, if there's anything, whether it's this or anything, the more research you do, the better. But this little pattern in here, I like the possibility and the probability that this thing is ready to take off for some decent gains soon. And on the triple day time frame, this thing started roughly at the start with December 12th, 2018 time frame. So that would be now almost 1 year, but not quite. And what a big move it had right off the bat, going from the 10 handle to like the 25 handle, 2.5x move. Fast. One, like, week and a half, week, all that type of stuff. And then the volatility to come with it. When these things go, like I say, they can go. So it's possible that this thing breaks out and it has a failed breakout, which would mean that it breaks out somewhere here. And failed breakouts can even be higher, but we'll just, for this case, say here. Then you have a good run on a bullish level, but nothing magnificent, which is like a 61.8 coming back to here. And then a pretty decent one is testing and being the near previous high. And then it gets really big when you break it. And then it gets extreme and hog wild and stuff like that when you go maybe up to about here, which are really all the possibilities that can happen on a breakout. And thank you. And yeah, there's nothing else I want to say. I was trying to think, what else did I need to say? And if it is, I totally forgot. Don't know what. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye. And by the way, I said it was a quick video, huh? Yeah. Hey, it was under 20 minutes. I do a lot of 30-minute videos, so I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt for that.